Hi, everyone. Henry DeVries with Agency Rainmaker TV. This is the TV show where we help agency owners, marketing consultants find right fit prospects. So, how do you make it rain? And we have a guest today I'm excited to interview, Dr. Barrett Matthews. And Dr. Matthews, thanks for being on the show. Tell us, who do you serve?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me here, Henry. I appreciate it. The people I serve are those people who may have been forgotten about a little bit. They were high achievers, those people who were C-suite executives, CEOs, CFOs, or former pro athletes, or maybe even their coaches who are wondering what's next. They've done great in their career, then all of a sudden they're not needed in that capacity anymore, and someone may not be calling them, so they may be wondering who's calling me. What do I do next? And I help them by doing media to make it so that they can actually be seen and be heard from everywhere in the world.
So you're after those encore careers and having
There you
them
go. I
be
like
seen
that.
and
I
heard.
hadn't used it like that before, but yes, the encore careers to
The
make it,
encore careers.
their knowledge
So,
doesn't disappear. So yeah.
yeah. Well, I know you have a media background. What do you do to help these people?
Well, my background, I used to work in DC at WUSA-TV. I was an assistant director of the news station there. Then I moved up to New York. I worked with CBS Sports. I did production and research as well there. And I've worked in radio stations. I've worked for newspapers and magazines and so forth. And what I do for these people now is I'm helping them to be more visible because when the time I started in media, which was a long, long time ago, Henry, till now, media has
Well,
evolved.
that's what I want to ask. I mean, was it Brent Musburger, Phyllis George,
Yes, I worked with
Irv
Brent
Cross?
Muslim.
Was it
I worked with Brent and Irv. Yes, I did. I worked with.
good times?
It was like that. It was a long time ago,
Yeah, I know.
though.
I know
And my
my Gen Zs and millennials are going, who is he
right.
talking about?
Who and
They'll just Google it. You can
my
Google it.
mentor.
But
Well, they know my mentor. The guy who helped me it was James Brown, JB. He was my mentor.
okay, oh wow.
Yeah, so he helped me a great deal as far as getting to those positions as well. So that's what helped me. But
Did, did
to
you work with Stanley Fear,
no,
the director?
I don't
Okay.
recall him.
I digress. You were telling us what you do for people.
I like this though. I like that. But well, yeah. So what I and working with media, what I do is I work with people who may need more visibility now because they don't know how to get back out there. But media has changed a whole lot from when I started till now.
Right.
It's much more accessible. So a lot of people who are doing media right now, a lot of them are doing it on their own, or a lot of them, they know what they want and they want to get it out there. But there are some people who never had to deal with it before. And they want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want that visibility, but they don't know how to do it. So what I do is I tell them, look, you're used to being that person in charge. You're used to being that person who shares your great knowledge with the people who are working under you or work with you. Keep doing that. Let me handle the part where we take the heavy lifting, create media around what you know, around your expertise. So that way you can still be that go-to person. You can be that industry icon, if you will. And we'll handle the media part of it. We'll create your podcast for you. We'll create your book for you. We'll create your TV channel for you, your documentary. We'll create all of that for you. All you have to do is be the talent that you are, know what you know, and share what you know, and we take care of the rest for you.
Barrett, 10 years ago, I interviewed a vice president at Facebook, and
Wow.
he said, there's going to be 4 billion television stations in the world. Everybody's their own television station.
Yeah,
And, and then podcasting and TV show. Well, look at this, you know,
right.
I, so
Well,
everything, niche players, little specialized information,
yes.
but we don't need to go through CBS to get the word out
Don't.
anymore.
And you think about it, I've had people say to me, with this talking podcast, they said, well, aren't there too many podcasts? Isn't it saturated? I said, well, podcasting is just another form of media. I said, you know what else is a form of media? Books. Are there too many books? And then they
There are
said,
40 million for sale on Amazon, but I think there's room for a few more.
you got a few over your shoulder right now. So this is
Well, 200 of them I published.
There you go. There you go. But see, there aren't too many of them because there's always something different people can learn, just like your own podcast, just like your own TV show. There's always
Right.
something different because that thing comes from you and no one else can be you.
I'm co-writing a book right now about thought followership. That
Hmm.
don't
Hmm.
try to be a thought leader, be a thought follower. Get people with important thoughts onto your TV show and your
I
podcast,
like that. That's
and share the word. Um, so you're in the same boat as my audience in that you have to find clients,
good. Hmm.
and you have to keep the sales pipeline going and filled with right fit prospects. So tell me about how you make it rain. What do you do for business development?
Well, what I do is something that a lot of people aren't talking about. We've been taught to specialize in the area, kind of like you alluded to a second ago. We've been taught to specialize. Say, for instance, if you do podcasts, we've been taught grow that podcast, build that podcast, market that podcast, and it will grow. And that could very well be true. You could have 50,000 downloads a week on your podcast. And you're doing great with it. But that is not to say that everyone you serve listens to podcasts. There
Yeah,
are people, here's one thing we know. Everyone consumes information through one form of media, at least. But that doesn't mean they consume it from the same form of media. So what I do is I tell people this, and it goes against the grain a little bit, which is be everywhere all at once. Be everywhere. Now that doesn't mean you have to dominate your presence on every medium, but it means you should have a presence so that if that person is looking in books for what you offer, they should be able to find something about you in a book. If they're looking on a Roku TV for what you offer, they should be able to find something there that you've put out. Same thing with podcasting, documentaries, social media. They should be able to find something that you've put out because where they're looking is what's important, not where you want to go. I always tell people that people do what I call ego-based marketing, meaning that
mm,
we put ourselves out in a place that makes us feel comfortable. And that's not necessarily where our audience is looking. We want to make ourselves findable for people because I always say like this, McDonald's doesn't come knock on your door and say, Henry, we have some French fries for sale. McDonald's wants to make it so that when Henry wants French fries, you can find one. And that's the thing. You need to be findable for people. So when they're looking where they want to look, they can see your presence there. So that's something I'm teaching that's a little different. I use the example of Kevin Hart, the comedian Kevin Hart. And I tell people, I
yeah,
said, I don't care if you think Kevin is funny or not. You will not ignore him because he's everywhere. He's using all forms of media to make it so people can find him. And if you're not doing that as a business owner, you're missing out greatly. And I've had people say to me when I say that, they say, well, Kevin gets on my nerves though, because he's all over the place. I said, then he's doing it right. If you're not getting on
you,
someone's
yeah.
nerves, then you're
You
missing
know whose nerves Kevin Hart's getting on? Chris
too.
Rock. Chris Rock said, "Hey, where's all that business I used to have? Kevin Hart's taking it all."
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
uh, I'm helping an author with a book, and it's
Mm,
making money being funny.
mm,
And we did a case study of Kevin Hart, and I have great respect for that man because
yeah.
he he decided he wasn't just going to be a performer, he was
Hmm.
going to be a producer and
Yes,
control the production.
yes.
And it wasn't just for making more money, but it was to control his life. But
Yep,
then he's helped so many others with
yep,
that and given them opportunities.
yeah.
Um, Even to the point Tiffany Haddish was saying, well,
Mhm.
she's broke living in her car, and Kevin Hart said, "I'm going to give you $300 if you promise to go to a hotel, spend the night in a hotel, and then to gear up to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And you've
He
got the
wants to pay
chops." He
him
was
back and
saying
he
to be
won't take the
this.
money back.
No,
Have you seen that?
no, I haven't.
She keeps trying to pay him back and he won't take it back.
That's funny because she needs to give it to somebody else down the line.
Yeah,
Probably is
yeah,
his point.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, those are both. I admire both of them. Okay, so uh, this is great. This is. I see where our time is almost up. I'd probably love to have you again if you're
I'd
available.
love to.
But
Love
is
to.
there anything you want to add before we leave today?
Well, first, I want to say thank you again, man. I'm greatly honored just to be here today. I mean, the thing I'd like to tell people is this: take action. Stop waiting for someone to call you. A lot of people in the positions of people I serve are waiting for someone to call them. They sometimes get depressed because no one's calling them. Take action. Let's make it rain for you. Make people call you. And that way you can be that industry icon that you're meant to be.
That's great advice. We put it a similar way. We say, do not wait to be discovered.
There you go.
Don't publish the book and wait for people to find it. You get it into the right people's hands.
Exactly.
Um, so when I'm in California, I have to say, the universe rewards activity. When I'm in the Midwest, I say, God helps those who help themselves. I'm bilingual. I can talk
I
both
got that.
languages.
I got that.
Barrett, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Until next time, make it rain.